Ever get that feeling like there's got to be more to reality than we see?
Yeah, more than meets the eye, right?
Exactly, more than meets the eye. Like, what if, like, all this stuff we see around us,
Yeah.
it isn't exactly as solid or fixed as it seems?
Yeah, that's a great question to start with.
Yeah, and welcome to the Quantum Soul, everyone. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We're going to be exploring, how our minds could actually be like shaping reality.
Yeah, I think that's a really fascinating topic. This idea that the universe is like fundamentally mental,
Right.
and not just material, has been around for centuries, in the
Yeah.
like schools of thought philosophies,
Yeah.
religions, wisdom, traditions. But now with like advancements in like quantum physics, we're starting to see some scientific evidence that could actually back up these ancient ideas.
So let's start with like one of the core concepts from the stuff we've been looking at.
Yeah.
This idea of mentalism. It's kind of mind-bending, but it basically says that the universe at its core is more about thought than like actual physical matter.
Yeah, exactly. It suggests that our thoughts, our beliefs and expectations aren't just like these passive things,
Right.
happening inside our heads. They're actually like interacting with and shaping the world around us.
Okay, so that's like our minds are like participating in the creation of reality.
Exactly. It's like we're co-creating reality with the universe.
Okay, I'm already intrigued, but like how does this like actually work? How does this play out in our everyday lives?
Okay, well, think about it like this. Imagine you're like an artist. You have a blank canvas. The canvas is like the potential of reality.
Okay.
And your mind, with all its thoughts and beliefs, is like paintbrush that creates the picture.
Okay.
So if you're always telling yourself, I'm not creative, you're basically like limiting what you can paint.
Right.
But if you come to the canvas with the belief that I can create anything I imagine, you open up a world of possibilities.
So you're saying that if I believe in something strongly enough, it'll just become my reality.
Well, it's not as simple as like, wishing things into existence.
Right.
But the point is, our beliefs are like filters.
Okay.
They influence how we see events, how we interpret things, the chances we get, even how we talk to people.
Okay.
If you believe that the world's a bad place, you're going to see danger everywhere and always be on guard. But if you believe that the world is full of good people, you'll be more open to like kindness and connection,
That makes me think of that double-slit experiment,
Yes.
I learned about it in school, but it always seemed like more like science fiction than real science.
It's a very strange experiment that's
Yeah.
been puzzling scientists for, decades.
Yeah.
The easiest way to explain it is you shine a light through two slits and you look at the pattern it makes on a screen behind it.
Okay.
The weird part is the light acts differently if you're watching it or not.
So you mean like the light knows if someone is watching it? That's wild.
Yeah, that's the part that really makes us rethink how we understand reality.
Right.
When no one's looking, the light acts like a wave going through both slits at the same time. But when you look at it, it acts like a particle and goes through just one slit.
It's like the act of observing it
Yeah.
changes how the light behaves.
Exactly.
So is this where that idea of retrocausality comes in?
Yes.
Because the stuff we were looking at mentioned something about a photon,
Yeah.
like knowing if it's going to be observed before it even happens.
Yeah, retrocausality is one way to explain the double-slit experiment, but it really pushes the limits of how we think about time.
Okay.
It suggests that the future could actually affect the past,
Wow.
that the photon somehow knows if it's going to be watched and changes how it acts.
Okay, my brain is like officially melting down. How is that even possible? How can choices we make in the future affect what's happening right now?
It's a tough concept to grasp.
Right.
One way to think about it is that maybe our present isn't set in stone. Maybe it's always changing with lots of possibilities, and our choices kind of stitch those possibilities together into what we experience as reality.
Okay, so is this all pointing to a universe where our thoughts, observations, even our future intentions are all like mixing together to create the reality we experience?
It's one way to look at it, and it's a powerful idea.
Right.
It suggests we have a lot more power to shape our reality than we might realize.
That's incredible. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the nature of reality, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share this video with your friends.
Yeah!
We're just getting started, and it's about to get even more interesting. Now, speaking of mind-bending phenomena, let's talk about the Mandela effect. Have you ever had one of those moments where you have like a super clear memory of something, but it turns out to be totally wrong?
Yeah, the Mandela effect is a really strange thing. It's when a bunch of people all remember something that never really happened.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's memory doesn't match up with the facts.
Like that whole thing with Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 80s, right? I could have sworn I saw it on the news.
Yeah, that's one of the most famous examples, and it's where the name comes from.
Right.
But there are tons of other examples, like the spelling of Berenstain Bears or the Fruit of the Loom logo.
Okay, so what's going on here? Are we all just hallucinating?
Yeah.
Or is there something more to it?
That's the big question.
Right.
Some people think the Mandela effect is proof of parallel universes or different timelines.
Okay.
Maybe our consciousness is shifting between these different realities, and our memories get mixed up in the process.
So you're saying there could be other versions of ourselves out there living slightly different lives.
Yeah.
And we could be merging with these other realities and bringing back bits of those memories with us.
It's a really interesting idea, and it goes back to this idea that our perception of reality might be a lot more fluid and changeable than we used to think.
So what if, as we raise our consciousness and expand our awareness, we're actually changing how we see time and reality itself? This is where it gets really exciting. Our source material links this to the idea of our own personal light signature. Can you explain what that means?
Sure, it's like a metaphor using the spectral signature of hydrogen. Every element gives off and absorbs specific frequencies of light, which creates a unique fingerprint that scientists use to identify it. The source material suggests that we as humans also give off and absorb unique frequencies of energy, making our own light signature.
And this energy signature is connected to our DNA, right?
Yes.
Making each of us totally unique.
Exactly. Our DNA holds the blueprint for our bodies, but it could also be the key to our energetic blueprint, our own personal vibration.
Okay.
And this vibration affects how we interact with the world and how the world responds to us. It's like we're each a one-of-a-kind symphony of energy, you know? It's like a symphony with light and shadow that brings us to the concept of the shadow self.
That's like the part of ourselves that we kind of try to keep hidden, right?
Right, it's the part of ourselves that we've repressed or disowned because we judge it as bad or unacceptable.
So if I'm always criticizing other people for being messy, does that mean I'm actually projecting my own fear of being seen as disorganized?
That's a really good example of how the shadow can work. Instead of facing those parts of ourselves, we project them onto other people and judge them for it.
So how do we deal with this shadow self? Is it about trying to get rid of all those negative traits?
No, not at all. The shadow isn't all bad. It contains both our light and dark sides, the parts of ourselves we have rejected, both good and bad. Trying to eliminate the shadow is like trying to get rid of a part of who we are. Yeah. It's more about bringing those hidden parts into the light and integrating them into our whole selves.
So it's about accepting all parts of ourselves, even the messy parts.
Exactly. When we deny or repress our shadow, it can actually become more powerful and show up in unhealthy ways.
Okay.
Like through projection addiction or self-sabotage. But when we acknowledge and embrace it, we become more whole and tap into a deeper level of creativity and authenticity.
It's like those old myths where the hero have to face their inner demons before they can really become a hero.
Right. Myths and stories often contain deep truths about the human experience. They're like a symbolic language for understanding ourselves. Speaking of symbolic language, the source material brings up an interesting analogy between musical chords and reality.
Okay, how does music relate to reality?
Think about how the same notes played in a different order can create completely different emotions. A major chord with its ascending notes often creates a feeling of joy or happiness, while a minor chord with its descending notes might evoke sadness or longing.
So it's not just the notes themselves, but the way they're arranged over time that creates the emotional experience.
Exactly. And the source material suggests that the same principle might apply to the events in our lives. It's not just the individual experiences themselves, but the way we perceive them, the story we create from them that shapes our overall reality.
That's so interesting. It makes me think about those times when something that seemed really bad at the time actually turned out to be a good thing in the long run.
Exactly. Just like a musical chord contains both light and dark notes, our lives contain both joy and sorrow, triumph and challenge. It's the interplay of these opposite experiences, the way they unfold over time, that creates the symphony of our lives.
It reminds me of that saying, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Maybe it's not about avoiding challenges, but seeing them as opportunities to grow.
Exactly. The source material emphasizes that everything in life is connected, and every experience contains the potential for its opposite. Joy can lead to sorrow, and sorrow can lead to joy. It's all part of the tapestry of existence.
Wow, that's a really beautiful way to look at it. It makes you realize that even the difficult times are an important part of the journey.
And that leads us to another key point, the importance of letting go of judgment, especially self-judgment.
Okay.
The source material suggests that judgment is a major obstacle to experiencing true love and fulfillment.
So if I'm always putting myself down for not being good enough or smart enough or successful enough, I'm actually blocking myself from being truly happy.
Exactly. Judgment, especially self-judgment, creates a barrier to love and acceptance. It distorts our view of reality, making us focus on what's wrong instead of what's right. It's like wearing glasses that only show you the flaws and imperfections.
It reminds me of that Helen Keller quote, "The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision." It's about seeing beyond the surface, right?
It's about cultivating a deeper level of understanding and compassion for ourselves and for other people. True vision isn't just about physical sight. It's about the ability to see the inherent worth and beauty in all things, even in our perceived imperfections.
So instead of judging ourselves and others, we should focus on developing empathy and understanding.
Absolutely. The world needs more empathy and less judgment. When we let go of the need to label and judge everything, we open ourselves to a more expansive, interconnected experience of reality.
And that brings us to this idea of embracing challenges as opportunities to grow and learn.
Yes. The source material makes a great analogy to athletes who intentionally choose difficult sports because the challenge makes it more rewarding.
It's like that saying, "Smooth seas never made a skilled sailor." We need those storms, those challenges to help us grow and evolve.
Exactly. Our challenges aren't punishments or setbacks. They're opportunities for us to learn and grow and become stronger.
So instead of asking, "Why me?" when we're faced with a challenge, maybe we should be asking, "Why did I choose this?"
That's a powerful shift in perspective. It changes our mindset from feeling like a victim to realizing we have the power to choose how we respond to challenges.
It reminds us that we're the authors of our own stories.
Yeah.
And we have the power to choose how we write the next chapter.
Exactly. And when we approach our challenges with curiosity and openness, we can discover hidden strength and wisdom within ourselves.
This is all so empowering. It gives me a whole new way of looking at how to approach life's challenges.
And if you're finding this deep dive into the nature of reality as empowering as we are, be sure to like this video and share it with your friends who might also be on a similar journey. We're about to go even deeper as we explore how we can consciously choose to create a reality that aligns with our highest potential.
Wow, this deep dive has really blown my mind wide open. It's like we've been on this incredible journey exploring what reality really is.
It is fascinating, isn't it? It makes you realize that we might not just be along for the ride. We could actually be shaping reality as we go along.
Yeah, one of the most powerful things I've learned from this is that we're not helpless.
Yeah.
You know, we actually have the power to choose our thoughts, beliefs, actions, and ultimately the reality we experience.
Exactly. It all starts with what's going on inside us. If we're full of fear and anger and resentment, we tend to project that out into the world and attract more of the same.
Right.
But if we focus on cultivating love, compassion, and gratitude, those qualities start to radiate outwards and create a more harmonious and fulfilling reality.
It's like that Gandhi quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world."
Exactly. It reminds us that real change starts with each of us individually. When we change our inner state, we change our vibration, and that shift has a ripple effect on the world around us.
So it's not just about positive thinking, it's about actually embodying those qualities we want to see in our lives.
Exactly. It's about aligning our thoughts, feelings, and actions with our highest aspirations. When we do that, we become a magnet for experiences that resonate with that vibration.
This all ties back to the idea of consciousness shaping reality. If we can change our perception, expand our awareness, and recognize how interconnected everything is, we can start to create a reality that's more in line with our true potential.
Absolutely. When we see ourselves as separate from the universe, as just isolated individuals struggling against the world, we create a reality of limitations and scarcity. But when we recognize our inherent connection to the divine source, to the infinite creative energy that flows through everything, we tap into a reality of limitless possibilities.
So it's about shifting from a mindset of fear and lack to a mindset of love and abundance.
Yes. It's about trusting that we're supported by the universe, that we have everything we need to fulfill our purpose, and that even challenges are opportunities for growth and expansion.
This has been such an incredible exploration of consciousness and reality. It's given us so much to think about and so much to explore within ourselves.
And if you've enjoyed this journey of discovery, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into these fascinating topics. And don't forget to like this video and share it with your friends who might be interested in exploring the nature of reality with us.
Remember, reality isn't fixed or predetermined. It's a constantly evolving canvas, and we are the artists. Choose your colors wisely, paint with intention, and embrace the infinite possibilities that exist within you. There are 2 videos on your screen right now. Click on one to continue your journey.